tell the listeners first about Hawk. What kind of a guy was he?
He was the guy that would give you the shirt off his back. You know, when I interviewed Hawk the first time, I was the greatest day of my life. And then when I left the interview and I came back towards his booth, he said, "Paul, come here." Now, I only met him once, 30 minutes earlier, to interview him, but for him to make me feel connected with him, and then
Right.
to spend time with him talking, and how's his family, and he's talking about Dale, his fiance at the time at WrestleMania 13, and I hung out with him after WrestleMania. I get him his big McAdoo cigars. We'd hang out, and then the real time we really connected with Hawk was after the match in 2001, because the night before or the day before, he was wrestling a shoot fighter and he got a concussion. So he decided to stay in the Chicagoland area one extra day, and we just sat in the hotel room and just talked family, talked about life, talked about how much he meant to me as a fan and what he meant to the business. And that's where our friendship bonded, because after we'd done talking the wrestling, it was about how he's doing, what his plans are, his future. And most people don't get to meet their heroes in life, as you know, Carmine, and James. Your heroes in life will let you down sometimes. I mean, I've met Michael Jordan. I shook the man's hand. I've covered his basketball camp at Elmhurst College. I met him. Now, most people say he's the greatest player in the world, but there are times he could let you down as a fan. Hawk, every time I've met him, every time I hung out with him, from Chicago to the XWF up in Milwaukee when they did the shows up there, he never let me down. Yes, did he do things that weren't the best judgment? Yes. We all have our vices, whether it's food, alcohol, you name it. We all have some kind of vice. Hawk had some vices, but did that make him a bad person? No. But that's what he was. He was friends with everybody. If he was your friend, he said it to me, and he probably said it to you, Carmine, "I'm your friend whether you like it or not."
They were just both down-to-earth guys, both of them.
Yep.
Would you say that Joe was the leader of the team, that he handled the business primarily?
Yeah, he was more of the business. I mean, there were times where Hawk took over the business part. Like, he would try, like, "Hey, let's get booked here." But I think Animal always had that business sense. As most people know, Animal wasn't the partier. He would go work out. He would get to his next show, but he was more of the business guy. He was always thinking ahead of, well, we're going to do this Road Warrior comic book, and we're going to work with this guy, and we're going to do this video game, and we're going to do this. He was always looking out for the business side of it, where Hawk was looking at more of, where's the next event? Who am I going to see that I know in the city? How am I going to go have some fun? And that's what it was. It was a yin and yang. I mean, they both brought something to the table, because, as I said, Animal is business, so some people might not want to deal with them, but they want to deal with Hawk. And when it becomes more serious business, okay, let's deal with Animal, because we're going to get a straight answer. So I think they complemented each other that way. And yes, there was sometimes issues where they didn't see eye to eye, but they were brothers. And that's what the Dark Side of the Ring showed, was just that their love for each other. They needed each other to both survive, and they knew they had something great.
They